you know, as you were, bit of Oasis. Hello, welcome to another Ricky's wartime broadcast. It's not wartime. Well, metaphorically, we're at war with a virus, but I mean, in a real war, of course, like the Second World War, people were separated from their families and had to go away and risk their lives. Sometimes, very often, give their lives. That's not what we're being asked to do. We're being asked to sort of wash our hands and keep away from crowds. It's not as bad as war, is it? It's not as bad. And yet some knobheads are finding it just as hard. So, honestly, I saw a video of some twat licking a toilet seat. Oh, really? I mean, anyway, don't be a knobhead is what we're not really asked to do. Don't be a knobhead. You know, your country needs you to not be a fucking knobhead. Can we do that? I got some questions. I put some effort in. Well, I say me, as people have asked me questions. I should say hello to some people. See, I can't read your little names, can I? Thank you for making Afterlife. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. Lots of Ricky Vera Lynn Gervais. Yeah, that's me. Good. All the people whining as well. We don't want to miss our spring break. I mean, what's annoying there is they're going to give it to their grandparents, aren't they? It's all right for them. They think they've got like 50, 60 years to enjoy other springs, but their grandparents haven't. Again, knobheads. Here's a question. Susan McIntosh, what would you request as your last meal? It's a difficult one, that, because if it was my last meal and I knew that for some reason, like on death row or, I don't know, I don't know, right? If I knew this was my last meal, I wouldn't be hungry. You know what I mean? I'd go, I'd still complain as well. I'd go a bit salty. So is this vegan? Okay, Tina Dolman. What TV programme or film is your favourite? What comedy script writers inspired you? What's your favourite comedy line that you didn't write? Oh, what TV programme or film is your favourite? Oh, wow, not comedy. It's probably Sopranos, The Wire, Breaking Bad, you know, Columbo, those sort of things. Comedies. My favourite comedy film, probably Spinal Tap. Play It Again, Sam. What's more modern ones? Team America, just pure stupidity. Great, really funny. Comedy script writers inspired you? Oh, so many. Galton and Simpson. Growing up, I liked the sort of pathos of things like Steptoe Son. I didn't really get it at the time. I was young. I was thinking, why does he just leave? Well, because it's his dad. And there's an emotional sort of entrapment. I liked the surreal and clever innovation of things like Monty Python when I was young, and then the slickness of and the great line, the sarcasm of Basil Fawlty in Fawlty Towers. I like the sweetness of things like The Good Life and Ever Decreasing Circles, big influence. That sort of flawed, petty man who's, there's a lot of Martin Bryce in David Brent and Captain Mannering, again, the pettiness, that ego and pettiness. So all those guys. What is your favourite comedy line that you didn't write? Oh, that's too hard. Loads. I mean, all the things I've mentioned, amazing. But I think if I did my 100 top lines of all time that I didn't write, I think The Simpsons would have about half of them. I mean, incredible. I know there was like 20 writers, but that aside, at its peak, I think it was untouchable. So yeah, I hope you're staying healthy. Thank you. America, fuck yeah. That's a line from Team America. Favourite cartoon? Oh, I mean, it was The Simpsons. I think Family Guy is still great, and South Park. Kathy Jackson, school days, worst job ever, most frightening experience. I love school days. I love real stories about school days. I've got a few in my new stand-up. One in particular, which I don't want to spoil because it's great, and I want to save that. Worst job ever. Worked in a factory when I was like 14, and they made, like you get a trestle table, and it's like a tube of, the legs are like a long tube bent into a sort of C shape, like for the legs. Well, I worked in a factory that made those and cut them and bent them, and my job was to get the tube before it became legs, right, out of a vat of oil and grind down the ends on a metal grinder. Just that. 8 hours a day in the school holidays. I got told off as well because I was there as a kid, and I was doing it. I was doing my best, and another bloke that had been there for ages sort of put his head over and go, "Why are you going so fast? Are you trying to impress?" And that was a lesson that I've carried with me. So yeah, don't try too hard, kids. Who are you trying to impress? Stove shaver. Talk about the scene you couldn't pull off because it was too funny. Oh, well, I don't know if you mean the one in There's one in Afterlife 2 that we couldn't do. We just couldn't get through it. It's a scene with a new character called Ken Otley, who is the most outrageous character. There's a little bit. He's in it a lot still, but there's one scene that we just couldn't get through. And famously, there's a scene that we didn't put in Derek, with Derek and Kev in the caravan. There was one line. All he had to say was he had to get talking about having sex with his big girlfriend Janice, and he'd go, "After reverse her to the caravan." So the business end. Anyway, it's ludicrous, and I couldn't do it. I ruined every take, and in the end, I gave up. Tell some biblical stories with your commentary. That's a good idea. I did do that on my first stand-up, Animals. I just read Genesis from the Old Testament. I didn't change it. I just read it as it was. It's good enough. tell us about Tony Kath relationship. Oh, in Afterlife. Uh, yeah, I suppose it's that sort of thing that you're thrown together with people and you've got nothing in common and they annoy you because they're just your polar opposites in everything, belief system, I don't know, education, values, all that. But at the end of the day, they're still people, and they still, have feelings and fears and problems, and particularly in the second series, Tony he tries a bit harder because he realises that everyone's struggling. So it's quite a sweet relationship. It's like sort of like a cat and a dog. A cat and a dog are always fighting, but then when one goes, the other one sort of pines. It's sort of like that, I guess. No grippage, someone just said. That's Kev talking about his stumpy knob. This is just like Churchill, isn't it? How's your day been? What have you been doing? I was thinking nothing's changed much for me. Quite often I just stayed in doing nothing all day. Yeah, and then watch telly at night. So I hope you're bearing up. Obviously, some people can't stay in, and it's not a day off for them, like NHS workers. So if you can make their job easier, that's all they're asking as well. I see it all the time. Like nurses and doctors just saying, "You can help us by just not spreading the disease." It's sort of that simple, really. What else? I haven't got any jokes. Nothing new there. Cheers. Taught myself to play a Bob Dylan song today on YouTube. Is Your Love in Vain? Quite simple. It's my sort of chords. Blood Sausage. Now people are just saying Kev lines to me. If you were a football player, whose style would you try and emulate? I just wasn't good enough at football. I wanted to be. It's annoying. Much better at tennis. But no one cares, do they? Started doing a bit of writing, I suppose. Well, not I suppose, I have. I think I've had to work on them. I mean, I've got to change a little bit of Supernature just because, things have changed. So it might seem a bit old if I didn't update it, which, again, you do anyway. When you're on the road, you constantly update things and put in the extra bits and ad libs and what else? Someone said, "Has this got sentimental value?" Because I get it. No, I'm just a scruffy twat. I like comfort. It's soft. It's an old. Why? I mean, that doesn't bother me, does it? You know what I mean? So yeah, that's all I really care about. Comfort. I think I've been like that since about 28. This isn't because I'm old now. From 28, I wanted an empty pub with a chair, standing up, shouting. No. Nice little chair. A little dog in the corner that I can make friends with. No music on. Let's not do that. No tellies on. Turn the fucking telly off. Let's have a little sit down and a nice pint. Or, well, not anymore. But I don't go to pubs anymore anyway. again. Our game of table tennis, me and Jane. I've got nothing. What am I watching on telly? Just finished second series of Before We Die. Danish program, amazing. And I've just started the second series now, last night, of The Teacher, Polish series. I don't think I've watched an English or American show, apart from The Chase. Got that on Series Link. A little bit of Chase every day. Thanks to everyone who followed those charities I mentioned. They had a great response and they thanked me, but obviously they're thanking you as well. What about today's charity? What a great charity this. Pause to Rescue. Pause to the number 2 at Pause to Rescue UK, I think it is. Tiny charity that just saves dogs in Romania, and it's worse at the moment because people are worried about keeping a dog, getting food and stuff. So there's even more dogs on the street which they're trying to save, and it's such an endless struggle, and they do it all themselves. So if you can follow them and look them up, and even honestly, the amount of people that watch these shoddy broadcasts, if a tenth of you gave £1, it would be absolutely game changing for this tiny charity. They pay all their own way as well to get it. Anyway, yeah, Pause to Rescue. Help them out if you can. Stay safe. Wash your hands and fucking have it. See you later.